Welcome back, everybody, to the Heart and Home podcast. And you know it, I'm Gloria, and we have the one and okay, I always say this every week, but I'm gonna say it again. We have the one and only.
Well, I'm Tafik. Welcome back, guys. I have no idea how Gloria manages this energy. Yeah, our energy levels are different. Huh?
It's okay. We need to always have one that's more grounded. And guess what? It's not me. Oh, I'm glad we're starting off on a with a good laugh, Taufik. Because today we're going to talk about something that's a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there'll be parents out there who will be like, ooh, I know this leh. This one, my childhood. Ooh.
Okay.
Because today we're going to be talking about discipline versus punishment.
Yeah.
Now, I think a lot of parents out there, they want to discipline their child. But what actually happens is that they end up punishing their children. And there's like a stark difference between both because that then determines how the child grows in the future.
Yes, it does.
And that's what we're going to be talking about. So, yes, everybody sit back. And if you're driving, eyes on the road. This is for our listeners who drive.
Yeah.
There are quite a few of y'all. Thank you so much. Yes, eyes on the road and sit back and relax.
Yeah, I'm not so sure how they can relax when they're listening to such a hot topic. But okay, let's go anyway.
Okay, Taufik. So, discipline versus punishment. Can you tell us what's the fundamental difference between the both of them?
Other than the spelling.
Yes.
Okay. Other than the spelling. So when we talk about discipline, right?
Yeah.
What does discipline look like to us when we are growing up?
Oh, I can tell you, mine was like,
right? So
hanger lah.
Yeah, whatever that is close
Cane
by.
lah.
So now that's not discipline anymore.
Yeah.
So that's actually punishment. So if you actually go back to the key word, the operative word of discipline, it's actually disciple.
Okay.
What does that actually mean? It actually means to teach, to guide, to educate.
Sorry, I'm still stuck at that. I'm like, it never occurred to me.
They have the same spelling,
I
Gloria.
know, but it never occurred to me.
Yeah, and the Latin word for discipline is actually discipline. Disciplina, meaning is to educate. And if you, the real operative word of discipline is actually disciple, meaning to teach. Right. On the other hand, punishment.
Right.
There are different kinds of punishment. We look at physical punishment. Then no, wait, there's corporal punishment.
Yes.
Like you punish the child by doing push-ups or like what's the thing when you grab your ear and then you start squatting, that one?
Oh yeah.
That was very familiar in my maths class last time.
Oof.
And then we were made to do like 100 of those, like pull your ear and then start squatting.
Oh my gosh, in math class.
Yeah.
If that's math class, what do they make you guys do in PE?
Actually PE was more fun than maths. But I have to say that when that happened, right, I was very thankful to my teacher because of that, it helped in my track and field.
Help you so much. You don't just become normal. You became strong.
Yeah, I became stronger.
You became strong man.
Yeah,
465 kg. Oh!
And yeah, my teachers to thank for it. But that was 40 years ago.
I saw.
That was 40 years ago, right? When we talk about punishment, there's a few kinds. We talk about a removal of a privilege, okay, or removal of a stimulus, or an addition of a stimulus.
Yes.
So that's like physical, then we talk about negative punishment, positive punishment. What does that look like, right?
Yeah.
So as long as there's a term punishment, right, it is an addition or removal of a stimulus to cut off an undesired behavior. Make sense?
Yes.
So let's say, for example, you come back home late.
Yeah.
From school, and what I do is like I take away your phone as a form of consequence.
Right.
Right? I confiscate your phone.
Right.
So that is actually a negative punishment, a removal of a stimulus to cut off the undesired behavior. The undesired behavior is coming home late. Right? So a positive punishment is addition of a stimulus. This could be a smack, a cane, a slap.
That's a positive punishment.
Yeah, because it's an addition of a
Right,
stimulus
understood.
to cut off an undesired behavior.
Right.
Okay?
Understood.
So, which works? 40, 50, 60 years ago, that worked. Now, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think changed along the way?
The CYP Act.
Oh.
Children and Young Persons Act.
Right.
I can't remember which year it was introduced, but because of that, like, I think it was 20 years, 20, 30 years ago, in the 1990s.
Right.
The CYP, the Children and Young Persons Act, was introduced by Parliament. I can't remember. Please fact check me. I'll do a little bit of fact check later. At what year it was implemented or was passed.
Right.
That is one. And at the same time also, I think when we grew up with punishment when we were older, when we were younger, right? When we grew older, like, this is not how I want to treat my children. So there could be a shift. Or it could also be that times have changed. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. There's no one answer for this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we spoke about punishment, and there's like positive punishment, which is an addition, and a negative punishment, which is
taking away.
taking away, but it's just to cut off an unwanted, undesired.
Both punishments is to cut off an undesired behavior. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when we say positive punishment, it's actually an addition, meaning it could be like physical.
Yes, could be physical, it could be verbal.
Okay. And then what about discipline?
Discipline is to teach. So for example, if you come back home late again,
Right.
How I would use discipline, it could look like this. Right? We'll sit down and I'll tell you, like, okay, put your phone on the table first. Okay? And we'll go through the ground rules again at home.
Right.
What is ground rule number 3? Be punctual. Then I'll ask, are you punctual? So now I'm using this opportunity where the child messes up, where the teenager messes up, as a teaching opportunity. So every time when your child messes up or does something wrong, it becomes a teaching opportunity. Yeah. Of course, it's very easy to say it, lah.
Yeah.
But in that heightened state of emotion or like things might be different.
I'm so glad that you brought that up back to reflect upon for the parents, because that actually leads to my next question.
Yeah.
So punishment oftentimes was like, physical, and I do, at least in the context of where we were growing up.
Yeah.
And I do feel like some parents also still kind of do that.
Yeah.
That is not really spoken about as because they.
I think there was one story that I shared earlier in the previous episodes about this mom.
Oh yeah, I remember the mom who held herself back.
Who held herself back.
Yeah.
And we also had this. I also had this conversation with her about how do you expect, like, you have spent about 8 to 10 hours with me over for the past 5 to 8 sessions, 4 to 5 sessions.
Yeah.
You expect 5 sessions to undo 40 years of conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which means that where do we get this punishment from? It's almost you inherit it.
Yeah.
We inherit it from our parents. It's called the theory of social learning. We see, we do, we learn, right? And it's the same thing because I'm pretty sure if you grew up in a family whereby that physical punishment was the norm, there is a high chance that you may practice that too in your own in your own journey as parents.
Right.
You may, I say you may, yeah?
Okay.
It's your own journey as parent because that is what you are, that's what you are used to, and that's what your parents were used to.
Right.
However, there's a small chance whereby maybe you experience a lot of pain, a lot of like to a point whereby when I grow up, I have my own children, I'm not going to do this to my children. So that takes quite a lot of self-awareness. That takes quite a lot of self-awareness is one term. The other term I can't really remember. That takes quite a lot of like knowing what you want. Yeah.
So being intentional.
Yes, that's the word. Being very intentional.
Right.
Yeah.
So are these the main reasons why parents would kind of fall into, I don't know, correct me if it's wrong, but parents would fall into punishment as opposed to discipline?
So now when we just separated the terms, right, we really defined the term discipline and punishment.
Yeah. Because, sorry, from my perspective, I feel like discipline is a little bit more, reserved and regulated as opposed to like punishment. Because especially with like positive punishment, where and when you talk about like, let's say the addition of something, so the addition of like maybe physical, physical punishment.
Yeah, the addition of the stimulus. Yes.
So like why do some parents immediately go into like, you do that again, and then the hand comes up, because I've seen that before. In fact, not too long ago, I was out with my family. We were at Marina Bay Sands. We were waiting near the restroom. Before we saw the family, I could hear them. I tell you what, cry some more. And then this is quite accurate, by the way. And then the hand comes up, and you're like, oh, girl, don't do it.
Yeah, but that almost sounds like a automatic response or like an automatic reaction.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would say it almost becomes like a condition.
Yeah.
Reaction. Yeah. So it probably that's how discipline is like at their home, or that's how they get things in order at home.
Right.
Yeah.
So that shows a bit more of shows you a bit more about how the person was raised as well.
Yes, it does.
Ooh.
It does.
Now, okay. I can't remember if we've covered this or not.
Yeah,
about
we may or we may not.
where how do the parents then catch themselves in that moment?
Very difficult.
Okay.
Is I can tell you it's impossible. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of you being aware of your own emotions. Yeah. And probably out of 10 times, you may succeed 3 out of 10 times. But it doesn't mean that you're a bad parent. It means that, like I say again, like, when sometimes when we do 9 good things, right? But people only remember the one thing that we screw up.
Yeah, correct.
So,
you never remember.
And a lot of the parents that I worked with also was this. This is what always happens that, in my consults with the parents, and one of the things that they've been sharing with me, like, I've been this, I've been doing that, I'm not a good parent, I feel guilty. But then also I go back and I remind them that, okay, so you have done 5 things, right? Out of these 5 things, you got 2 wrong. Or like 2 things you want to do better.
Right.
But then there are just 3 things you do well, right? Are we discounting these 3? Is this 3 less significant than the 2 things that you mess up? So now, actually sometimes it's just like, I feel that it's my role to actually remind parents that, yes, we make mistakes. We are humans. We are humans after all, right? And we will make mistakes. We'll screw up. We will say the wrong things. We will say even the right things at the wrong time, or we will say the right things at the wrong time. But it doesn't mean we are lesser off as parents. It just means that we are learning. And the key term of discipline is to educate, to learn.
Yeah.
And I always ask parents that I work with is this, well, if you already have cane, you have already like added that stimulus, there is no way that you can take it back.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have a rewind button.
Yeah.
We don't have a rewind button.
No time machine.
Yeah. We don't have that. And it's just a painful learning point. But we learn.
For both. Actually.
For both children. Yeah. Now, what does that actually mean for your relationship with your child? Every time when we talk about correction, because sometimes the discipline or that punishment, it is to correct a certain behavior, is to remove a certain behavior or to correct. But without correction is not as effective.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm.
Without
connection, when I say connection, I talk about relationship. Your bond with your child, your relationship with your child, how close you are with your child, how much quality time you spend together, and like even if you scold your child, the next day will they apologize? So these are all variables that determine connection. Right? If you try to correct a certain behavior without a relationship, without a bond, without what's that term I use? Without a certain like closeness that you have with your child, nothing's gonna happen. Because then your child is going to see you as
just this like
mommy is the bad guy or daddy is the
this
bad guy.
outside factor that's just
negative. Or if it comes to be a little bit extreme, my mommy hates me. Right?
Yeah.
So then the question is, I also want to ask is, so what can I do as a parent? If let's say I'm about to lose it, you also must acknowledge that as a parent, if you come in a fully intact nuclear family, you're not alone. But however, if you're a single mom or a single dad, you have things that are not going your way because you're alone, and it's very hard for someone to catch you. When you're not in the great in a great mind space. If you remember our previous chapter, also we talk about the state of mental well-being of moms, right?
Yes, in our the last chapter.
In our previous episode, we talked about that. And when you are angry, when you're frustrated, when you're annoyed, you're about to lose it, or you already have lost it, what is your mental state at that point of time?
It's really heightened, it's overwhelmed.
The temperature is really so high. And every time when you discipline, when you punish with a heightened mental state, heightened emotional state, there's a high chance or there's a possibility that it's not just going to be one stroke. There's a possibility that it's going to be a few.
Quite a few, It's like those criminals the cases where people are like they shoot a gun. They don't just shoot one. If it's out of passion and anger and heightened emotion, go like bam, 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 right? It's the same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
Yeah.
So I want to share a very interesting story also. I can remember there's this dad that I worked with. We had a scheduled session, and interestingly, right? He was on the way back. He came back from a business trip, and we had our consult from the airport. The moment he cleared immigration, because we had our consult from the immigration to picking his bag to in the car when his wife picked him up.
Right.
It was very interesting because he was very angry. And while he was away, because I remember he was in Taiwan, and the teacher called him the night he was flying back. No, the night before he flew back.
Ooh.
And his son didn't complete the homework, was pulling a girl's hair in class, and was making a fool of himself, and ooh. And then as he was sharing with me all this, it's not just one. These are the three that I remember. There's actually about 4 or 5 things that happened. And like, Taufik, how can this how can he do that? I've never scolded him. I've never hit him. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna whack him. Ooh. How can he lay his hands on another girl? Because I remember there was another physical altercation in school where he pushed another boy.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the phone, I'm gonna whack him, and he's gonna get it from me. Then I just asked you, I asked him, what is the outcome that you hope to achieve? Like when you cane him.
And then
I just call a spade,
it's true.
we're going to kill him. I'm just going to teach him a lesson.
What's he gonna learn?
Yeah, it's like, okay, sounds that you are very angry at the moment. I told him this. I am in no position to tell you, don't hit him. I'm not in this position to tell you this because I'm not your son's father. You know your son better than I do. And I only know your son through what you've been sharing with me.
Right.
But I told him I gave him this caveat this morning. I just want to give you this warning. If right now, when you hit your son in this heightened sense of emotional, when you're emotionally heightened like this, you're very angry.
Yeah.
There's a small possibility. Actually, I said small, I was being kind.
Yeah.
I wanted to say there's a huge possibility, but I didn't. I held myself back a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a small possibility that it may escalate from 2 strokes, 3 strokes to maybe more. And there's a fine line between discipline, punishment, abuse. And he just stopped for a while and he just like, okay, I understand.
And then what happened?
And I said, okay, Taufik, I'm home already. I'll update you next week.
And then?
I want to say, yes, tune into next episode to find out more, but no. no, but I'm not like that, okay? I'm not MediaCorp. So what happened next was this. In our next session,
yeah,
I asked him, like, in last week, we had another check-in. Last week we had this conversation about you wanting to like hit your son.
Yeah, and then?
What happened? Did you hit him? He said, yeah, I did. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more because like you sound you look very calm and you look very composed. See, when I got home, he apologized.
Oh.
He knew that he was in trouble because the mother said when you come back, you better apologize to your father first. Or else you're gonna get whacked.
Yeah.
So do you cane him? He said, yes, I did. Then he said, what happened before you cane him? He said like, he apologized, and I told him that he shouted at him. He shouted like, your teacher called me to complain that you hurt another person. Then he told his son off. Like, I never taught you before, never hit you before. I have never done this to you. Why are you doing this to another person? It's not fair. It's not fair. It's like, why are you hurting somebody?
Yeah.
And actually the son apologized for that. And the son said something along the lines that, I don't know, I was very upset and it was the only thing that I can do. And then the son said this, but I think I did something wrong, Daddy. I deserve to be caned. So the father took up the cane already. The cane was there. Then the father said, give me your hand.
Okay.
And the father just whacked him one time on the hand. Do I agree with this form of punishment?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Right.
But I'm not in the position to tell you that, hey, you cannot do this. Because I'm not.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's wrong.
Yeah.
But you still do it anyway. But then I asked him this question. 1 stroke only? He said, yeah. How hard was it on a scale of 10? 4.
Can I just interject here? Because I feel like that conversation that he had with his son, I feel like that's discipline.
Yes.
Where he's reflecting back to the child what his actions have caused.
Yeah.
And I felt like just listening to this, I feel like that's way more effective.
Is it the best way? Well, I don't know, but that works for his family. And once again, I said, I'm not in a situation to tell you that, hey, no, you can't do this, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because that would mean that I'm imposing my personal values on his family values. Right?
Yeah.
So what I did with him was just to get him to reflect a little bit. Like, but you still have to punish his son. Because he caused harm to another person.
Yeah.
So then I asked him, what else happened after that?
Right.
So he said, Well, the next step was for him to apologize to the girl for pulling her hair. So he wrote a letter. Okay. And then the other boy that he pushed, okay, he wrote an apology letter to the boy
Nice.
and to the parent. So even to the girl and to the girl's parents.
Right.
And then even to the teacher.
Yeah.
Wrote a letter to the teacher and the parent.
Right.
And no, not the teacher's parent. The teacher, and also he wrote a letter to the class. And so there's so many letters, huh?
Yeah.
And these letters are actually to educate and to discipline. That this is not acceptable. So I remember he read to me one of the letters that he wrote to the class.
Yeah.
He read it to me and he said, I apologize for being very impulsive. I know it was wrong. It's just one paragraph. Something along the line. I was wrong. I was impulsive. I put everyone in an uncomfortable position whereby, I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Right.
If I do this again,
yeah,
please tell my father.
Yeah. So cute.
Please, if I do this again, please tell my father.
Then the whole class is like, ooh.
No, then the whole class went like, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, but what was more important was that that he made amends.
Right.
He made amends to the boy that he pushed down.
Yeah.
So this is the correction bit.
Yeah, correct.
So this is the correction bit.
Yeah.
So I think he tried to. He bought the boy like recess and like food for the next 2 or 3 days lah.
Oh.
Yeah, to say I like no apologize, and he sat down with him, and guess what? Now they're good friends lah.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. Because the father told him, because you don't want people to bully you, but then now you are the bully.
Yeah, exactly.
You are the bully now.
Yeah. I have a question for you. What does effective discipline, not punishment, effective discipline look like?
Effective discipline looks like it's very different for different people, for different families, and for different individuals. Why I say this, because remember this story that I just shared, right?
Yeah.
It worked for him.
Yeah.
But it might not work for other people.
Is there like a structure?
When we go back to structure again, we talk about structure.
Framework, yeah.
We go back to again, what are the ground rules at home? Right?
Yeah.
What are the ground rules at home?
Yeah.
So if let's say, but this family does have ground rules because they've been working with me for 8 sessions, right?
Yeah.
Because they managed to they enforce ground rules at home, and they followed it, right? So one of their ground rules, if I recall correctly, was be respectful of other people's space, their physical space, and their things, right?
Yeah.
And the father went back, were you respectful to this girl?
Ooh.
You are in his space. You know what this called? It's called molest.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, this and father did that. This is called molest.
Yeah.
You're touching somebody that doesn't give you permission. This is wrong. This is against the law. As a father, I can punish you. As the law can punish you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled all the law lah.
Yeah.
Because the father is an underwriter, so he knows all this. So he knows all this legal stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it became a situation where he was actually teaching his child. But then I asked him, like, was your emotions heightened at that point of time? Of course! I was angry! So then I asked him, so this tone, timing, temperature thing went out the door? It went out the door! I was shouting at him. But then I told him, well, like I said, I mean, the tone, timing, temperature is just a guideline, right? It's a framework that you can use. Yeah. But it is something that, because now there's issues of safety.
Yes.
If you have to elevate your tone,
yeah,
because there's a safety issue,
yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the best way to do it? Maybe. But different. I would say again as a caveat, it looks different from for different families to different individuals also.
Right.
Mm.
So I'm just gonna ask you one more question.
Mm.
So let's say a parent. Okay, I kind of like. Let's say a parent has been realizing that what they've been doing all this time was actually just punishment.
Yes. After listening to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All they've been all doing all along is just straight up, let's say, even positive punishment.
Yeah. Just punishment lah, basically lah.
Yeah.
Just whacking lah.
Yeah, just whacking
Caning.
their child. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the nearest thing like a slipper.
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah. And we know that there's like the after effects of when the child has grown up and if a child is under a lot of like in the last episode, did we cover authoritarian?
Yes, we did authoritarian, authoritative, and permissive parenting.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? There was this study done just quite recent about last year. One of the things they found out is that and it's not just last year, and there's a lot of studies done on trauma informed practices and studies, right?
Yeah.
Every time when you hit a child or you hit somebody, there's a part of your brain that just doesn't function because your brain goes into survival mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And which means that when that happens, some links, the neural links between your brain are affected.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know that there are really adverse effects.
Yes, physically. Yeah, physical. Yeah.
For the child, especially when the child has grown up and then tries to go back into society and like some of them are normal high functioning people.
Yes.
Yeah. But let's say a parent has been realizing that all this time what they've been doing is punishment.
Yes.
As opposed to discipline.
Yes.
What is one shift they can do today?
Walk away.
Walk away?
Walk away from
catch themselves and walk away?
Just walk away from the situation. The moment the positive thing about being adult is that our brains are fully developed. Right? And like if you ever catch yourself or your voice is heightened, elevated, or even you're screaming, you start screaming. We need to catch ourselves. We need to catch ourselves because we don't want the situation to escalate.
Right.
Right? When the situation escalates, how do you know when the situation is escalating? First, it may look like this. You shout. Your child shouts back at you. Then, how dare you shout back at me? And then you shout again.
Yeah.
And then the child shouts back at you again. So because we are as adults, we need to put our foot down, we need to stamp our authority, and then you shout back again.
Yeah.
So the moment you actually hear yourself shout, you don't want to get sucked into the emotional black hole.
Right.
Because when we talk about it, this emotional black hole is we're talking about what is the impact of this escalation gonna be like for your relationship with your child. So now we're talking a little bit more about impact. Because anytime there's an escalation, it affects your relationship with your child.
Right.
And as you know, it takes a longer time to repair something that is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
But it also doesn't mean that you cannot discipline.
Yeah.
But before any correction takes place, you must have the relationship, that connection first. If not, it's either 1 year in and 1 year out, or like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taufik, thank you so much for sharing on this episode of like discipline versus punishment. I'm sure there are a lot of parents out there who are also like, when I was younger, I was also...
Maybe we can talk about that in our next episode.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about the growing up
Yeah.
and being
Yeah.
generational.
Gen X, I don't know lah. Now got so many terms like Gen X, Millennial, Gen Alpha, like so many terms.
I like the Gen Alphas, they're very cute. Teacher, I work a lot with them. They're very wild. I realized that it's not just unhinged, and they know it. Unhinged.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are also watching our podcast.
Yes.
There got a few of them. If you're watching this and you want my baby sis, you're unhinged. Thank you. So yes, we'll talk about it. Let's talk about the different generations and
Let's
in
do
our
that.
next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.